Last Sunday, maybe up just a smidge. Last Sunday in church, we heard hard words Jesus has to say to some would-be followers. I love the way Eugene Peterson translates part of the conversation. It went a little bit like this. On the road, someone asked Jesus if they could follow along. "I'll go with you wherever," they said. Jesus was curt. "Are you ready to rough it? We're not staying in the best inns, you know." Well, this morning, Jesus isn't talking about the challenges of following him. He's talking about the challenges of being sent out into the world ahead of him. He sends 70, not just one or two, not just the 12 disciples. He sends 70, which sounds like Jesus is sending out just about everybody. But whether following Jesus or going on ahead of Jesus, one thing remains the same. Jesus is clear to say it's not going to be an easy journey. "I'm sending you out like lambs into the midst of wolves." So Jesus sends the 70 out to announce the good news, the same good news he himself had been announcing. Clear that there are dangers out there, but he sends them anyway, because out there is where they need to go. That's where the adventure waits. They cannot stay safe and secure from the journey forever. And truth be told, the safety of staying home is an illusion anyhow. So Jesus sends them out, fully aware that there are risks. Whenever I hear this morning's gospel, or one of the other gospel accounts of Jesus sending his disciples out on their journey, I think of the Camino de Santiago. As some of you will recall, I walked the Camino in the spring of 2024. 500 miles across northern Spain. And then, because that wasn't enough for me last time around, I walked further to Murcia and Finisterre, the end of the world, all the way to the western edge of Spain and the Atlantic Ocean. It's a hard journey. We were not always, to paraphrase from the gospel, we were not always staying in the best of inns. We stayed in bunk beds in hostels. But it's a beautiful pilgrimage, walking in God's creation, traveling with other children of God from every country and culture, of every language and creed. This morning's gospel reminds me of the Camino. And it reminds me of Rick Steves, public television's modern-day evangelist for travel. Steves often says that the key to a meaningful journey is to, in his words, travel light. Now, that's an admonition for anyone who has ever walked the Camino, one that they take to heart. If you're going to carry on your back everything you need for a 500-mile walk across northern Spain, you'd better plan to travel light. You'd better be intentional about what you pack and what you leave behind. But it's not just advice for the Camino. Rick Steves encourages all travelers to pack only what they need in order to be open to new experiences, to trust that the world is more hospitable than we fear. He wrote an article posted on his website that makes the point. He called the article Packing Smart and Traveling Light. And this is how he begins. The importance of packing light cannot be overemphasized. But for your own good, I'll try. You'll never meet a traveler who, after 5 trips, brags, "Every year I pack heavier." You can't travel heavy, happy, and cheap. Pick 2. You can't travel heavy, happy, and cheap. Pick 2. Now, much of what Rick Steves says in this article is very practical. He talks about the kinds of clothes to carry. Mostly, though, he talks about what to pack and, more importantly, what not to pack. He reminds us that the essentials we might buy at Target or King Soopers when we're at home are still available when we're on the road, no matter where we go. He writes, if you can't find one of your essentials, ask yourself how 500 million Europeans can live without it. Rather than carry a whole trip's supply of toiletries, take enough to get started and look forward to running out of toothpaste in Bulgaria. Then you have the perfect excuse to go into a Bulgarian department store, shop around, and pick up something you think might be toothpaste. It's an adventure out there, people. Well, that's the thrust of everything he has to say. Pack less than you think you need. Limit yourself, he says, to just one carry-on bag, even for a 3-month trip. Don't pack, he says, for the worst scenario. Think in terms of what you can do without, not what will be handy on your trip. When in doubt, leave it out. But this is, for Rick Steves, not just practical insights, it's a very philosophical statement. This is how he continues to say this. Packing light isn't just about saving time or money, it's about your traveling lifestyle. I think we might just drop the traveling modifier. It's about your lifestyle. Too much luggage marks you as a typical tourist. It slams the back door shut. Serendipity suffers. Changing locations becomes a major operation. Con artists figure you're helpless. Porters are a problem only to those who need them. With only one bag, you're mobile and in control. Take this advice seriously. Well, that is, as I say, his traveling lifestyle. And it's pretty clear that this is his philosophy of life. He fervently believes a life lived this way is a richer experience. The lighter we travel through life, the more room we have for grace, for encounter, for surprise, for the discovery that God's provision often comes through unexpected hands. As an aside on the Camino, they love to tell you the Camino provides. Whether you brought it with you or not, when you find you need it, the Camino provides. All of which is an echo of what Jesus says in this morning's gospel. Carry no purse, no bag, no sandals. And then again, to paraphrase from Eugene Peterson's translation, Jesus goes on to say, travel light. Travel light, Jesus says. That said, there are 1 or 2 essential items he tells us to pack. The first essential item for life's journey is one another. When Jesus sends the 70, he sends them in pairs. That's not an incidental detail. It's a strategic move. It's a dangerous world out there. We need one another if we're going to get through it. As one commentator puts it, when one falters, the other can help. When one is lost, the other can seek the way. When one is discouraged, the other can hold faith for both for a while. That's what the company of believers does. We hold on to each other, console each other, encourage and embolden each other, and even believe for each other. Never go it alone. We forget such a basic truth at our own peril. We need one another in this life. And take this one thing more with you as you go. Take peace. Take peace to share as you head out. Whatever house you enter, first say, "Peace to this house." And if anyone is there who shares in peace, your peace will rest on that person. But if not, it will return to you. Peace. Bring peace with you. It's the first thing you'll need to share along the way. That's a deceptively simple plan. Before we say anything else, before we do anything else, Jesus tells us to offer a word of peace to everyone we meet. Before we make any sort of assessment as to whether a person deserves a word of peace, before we have time to determine whether they're a good person, before we know if a word of peace will be welcomed and reciprocated, or whether it will fall on deaf ears and be rebuffed, peace. And when people receive you warmly, when they share in your peace, Jesus says, stay there a while. Gratefully and peaceably. Those are your people. Jesus is clear about the hardships and dangers along the way, but he urges us to be open for grace and welcome when they show up. And then dine, feast, eat the food that's offered. Drink of that which is given to quench. And when, in the course of things, when confronted with those who do not share in peace, well, then let your peace return to you. Whenever you enter a town they do not welcome you, go out into its streets and say, even the dust of your town that clings to our feet, we wipe off in protest against you. You see, Jesus is never dismissive of the harsh reality of suffering. Rejection, even hostility, is a real thing. It hurts, it wounds, and a wound is still a wound. I think Jesus allows for all that. But don't hang on to that dust. Don't hold on to the hurt as you leave. Hang on to your peace. Your peace. It's an inside job in the end. Make sure you take your peace with you wherever you go. This past week, I'm slightly embarrassed to tell you this, but this past week I was reminded of Taylor Swift. Embarrassed to admit it, I say, but only slightly. I went out to search on YouTube for one of the biggest hits she had, one of the few songs I could recall. It's a pop hit that echoes this gospel truth. Because the player's going to play, and the hater's going to hate. Baby, I'm just going to shake. I shake it off. Wipe the dust off your feet. Don't look back. Don't retaliate either. Just shake it off and move on. For you have somewhere else to go. And you're free to travel the way ahead. Shake it off. I think this is Jesus' advice for people of the way, and it all comes down to this. The world out there is not entirely safe, but out there is where we're sent. and safety at home is an illusion anyhow. So go forth to proclaim the good news of God's love. There are no guarantees in this life. Hard times are ahead, but you cannot anticipate every danger, so don't let worrying keep you from your next adventure. And as you go forth, hold fast to those who support you, and look for those who welcome you. Give thanks for people such as these. Hold on to what they offer and never, ever take them for granted. And remember this, you have everything you need already. Don't get weighed down. Travel light. Remain flexible. There's freedom in learning. We already carry enough, a freedom that should not be traded away by imagining we need more. And take peace with you as you go. It is your most precious gift for the journey. Carry no purse, no bag, no baggage, no doctrine, no debate, just peace. It's the currency of the kingdom. And when all is said and done, remember that your peace is yours and yours alone. Don't let anyone take it away from you, and don't leave home without it. Traveling light doesn't mean the journey will be easy, but it does mean we're free to focus on what matters most. The relationships we build, the peace we offer, and the God who walks with us along the way. And if we can find a way to trust such a journey as that, we might just find that the world is more open, more gracious, and more sacred than we ever imagined.